I just lost my job today. No warning, no nothing. They wouldn't even tell me why. I don't know. I didn't do anything wrong. I have no savings. I have nothing. I just don't. I got in the exit interview and they said, today's gonna be your last day. My manager, my director was on the call. And then they were like, the decision has already been made, so we really don't have anything to hear from you. You're only gonna get paid for the one day you worked in August, and we'll give you your commission check, and that's the last of it. And end the call on me. I'm low. I'm low.
You know something that's becoming genuinely terrifying for a lot of people now? Randomly losing their job and suddenly having no idea what they're supposed to do next. And I think that's why so many emotional videos are going viral online right now of people breaking down after getting laid off, fired unexpectedly, or replaced without warning. Because for many people, losing a job doesn't just mean losing income. It means losing stability, rent, bills, food, insurance, their routine, their peace of mind. And for parents, the fear becomes even heavier. Because now it's not just about surviving for yourself anymore. You got kids depending on you too. And honestly, I think that's why these videos hit people emotionally. You'll see people crying in their cars, having panic attacks, talking about applying to hundreds of jobs and hearing nothing back. Others admitting they're mentally exhausted because they genuinely don't know how they're going to survive financially anymore. And what makes it even scarier is how fast life can change now. One email, one phone call, one layoff, and suddenly somebody's entire future feels uncertain overnight. So in this video, we're going to look at people venting about sudden job loss, financial fear, mental breakdowns, and the emotional reality of trying to survive after unexpectedly losing stability. Because right now, a lot of people are realizing how fragile modern life really feels.
I'm a little embarrassed to talk about this, but it's going to be relatable, and so you're not alone, okay? So I spoke way too soon. The job market is horrible. I'm definitely not going to have a full-time job in 30 days of being laid off. That was a joke. But like, for example, I had 6 people refer me into a role at OpenAI that I was a perfect fit for. I worked on my resume. I had my recruiting friends look at it. I had ChatGPT look at my resume. I was so excited. I've done this exact role at a massive company that has been super successful in the marketing space. Still rejected from OpenAI with 6 referrals and the exact experience that job description was looking for. And that keeps happening to me at all of these companies. And I've worked at some of the best companies. I've worked at Meta, BCG. I have early stage startup experience. I have everything a company would want. I've been promoted throughout my career. Literally have been a top performer at every place I've ever been at. And I just keep getting rejected left and right. It's almost comical at this point, but I'm actually stressed that I'm going to have to move out of my apartment in New York because my rent is $5,500 a month, and I'm stressed. I'm stressed. So if anybody has any words of encouragement, let me know, because this girl is just down in the dumps.
Found out last week we're losing our house. Found out yesterday, laid off from my job. Yeah, that's what I said. So today is day 1 of unemployment. So not only am I homeless, not only am I about to be homeless, I'm also jobless. And I just had a baby. Yay! Yay! I'm having so much fun. Life is so much fun. Yay!
Well, it just happened to me. I got let go from the company I worked at for the past 3 years. I got the typical one-on-one meeting put on my calendar all of a sudden, and when I logged on, HR was there. The call lasted about 4 minutes, And they started it out with the typical, this was a very difficult decision to make, but we're going to have to let you go. Talked about next steps and all the things, and I'm just like, oh my God. I don't know how to feel, because this is a very strange thing, or like sudden thing. The last time I was unemployed was during maternity leave 3 years ago. I don't really know how to be without a job, but yeah. I know this sadly is a very common thing that's happening right now, which is concerning to say the least, but it is what it is, and we're riding through it, and I'm going to find a way to get out of this and put some sunshine on it. But for now, I guess I am now an unemployed girly.
So I lost my job today, and what I find frustrating is I called my dad to let him know that I lost my job, and you know what happened? Instead of him saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, sweetheart," what does he say? "So now you can purchase that item I need you to buy for me and your brother so that we can start making money and we can help." Bruh, no. For a year, my dad's been trying to get me to purchase a machine thing that costs like 4Gs. He wants me to put it on my credit card because they don't have the money. And he's like, we're going to make all this money if we just have this machine. No. I called you for comfort, and all you can think about is making money. I lost my job today, and you want me to charge up money so that you can make money? And I don't know how I'm going to pay that charge? Child, get out of here. So my answer to your request, Dad, is no.
I lost my job exactly a week ago. First thing, 8 a.m., the whole shindig. And I was distraught. And I'm still distraught. It was traumatizing, and I'm not using that word lightly at all. Truly, I'm not. It was traumatizing. I had never experienced something like that before, and I'm not trying to be ignorant to the world that we live in and the corporate life and the job market, situation right now. But it was extremely painful, and it's led to a lot of depressive lows because it's so unexpected. And when you don't really have answers for it and you don't really have closure, it's just like, oh, this happens in the real world, and it feels so wrong. It feels like everything that goes against what we were taught as kids, like treat others the way you would want to be treated, and how would you feel if someone did this to you, and it's like, that's such a simple way of wording it, but I'm just kind of reflecting in a video journal entry. But I do want to say, a week out, I am feeling better, but there's still this lull of depression and feeling like what am I supposed to be doing? What's my role? And why wasn't I good enough? But I want to say that it does get better, and I think there's a sense of empowerment, which I say through my teeth because I don't feel that right now, but I feel like there will be at some point.
I think one of the saddest parts about all of this is how quickly people can go from feeling stable to feeling completely lost mentally. Because when somebody loses their job unexpectedly, it's not just money that disappears, it's certainty. People suddenly start questioning everything. How am I going to pay rent? What happens if I can't find another job? What about my kids? What if everything falls apart? And living with that kind of fear every single day can mentally destroy people over time, especially in an economy where basic survival already feels expensive before someone even loses income. And I think that's why so many people online sound emotionally broken now. Because a lot of individuals genuinely feel like they're trying their hardest and still barely staying above water financially. Then when layoffs happen or jobs disappear unexpectedly, people don't just feel stressed, they feel trapped. And I think modern society underestimates how psychologically damaging financial instability actually is. Because constant uncertainty creates anxiety, sleepless nights, depression, panic, Feelings of hopelessness, especially for parents trying to stay emotionally strong while secretly terrified about how they're going to provide for their children. And I think more people are starting to realize how fragile stability has become for ordinary working people. Because many individuals are one unexpected crisis away from feeling like their entire life is collapsing around them, mentally and financially.
I'm so sick of hearing how amazing this economy is doing when it's just not. I lost my job last year. I've been looking for a new job since then. Still have yet to find anything. My husband, guess what happened today? He got laid off. Great. Nothing says thriving economy like two working professionals with degrees that both just lost their jobs within the past year. We're not alone. There was 21.2 million layoffs last year. This is layoffs, not including people that were fired, not including people that quit, just layoffs. 21.2 million last year. That is a record high since the pandemic, where restaurants and businesses had to lay everyone off because they were closing. Just in January of this year alone, there were 100,000 layoffs. That is a record high for monthly layoffs since the 2009 recession. We have millions of Americans losing their jobs. Meanwhile, the companies are reporting record-breaking profits. How the hell does that work? They want to talk about the economy's thriving. Meanwhile, gas is on the rise. Food's on the rise. Everything is on the rise. Fucking ground beef was $6.99 a pound at the grocery store. Ground beef. It was $3.99 a few years ago. On average, families saw a 15% increase in their grocery store bills last year. What? And thanks to these fucking data centers, Virginians get to watch their electric bill double this year. The economy is doing so well. Okay, then explain to me how my household has two professionals with college degrees that are currently unemployed and can't find jobs. Explain that to me. And before anyone says anything smart, my job is not a face-fronting job. People do not see my face. My hair does not matter. So now my husband and I have to decide what we need to cut when we've already cut so much, because we need to grow basically to our emergency fund, because at this point we only have my TikTok income to support our family. And that's fucking terrifying. And I know that we are just one family out of millions of families that have been affected by this administration, but I am so incredibly sick of hearing how amazing the economy is doing when I look around my community and everything points to the exact opposite. We are struggling. People are struggling to pay their bills. People are trying to decide if they need to turn off the heat or pay for food. It should be an embarrassment that they're claiming that the economy is thriving. Meanwhile, 21.2 million Americans just lost their job last year, and we're projected to have way more this year. It really is just sinking in that this is the only source of income that I have to support my family right now. Oh, fuck. I'm gonna be sick. Holy shit.